Hello, good morning, and welcome. Welcome to another episode of Psyched. I'm your host, Sule A. Joseph, a counseling psychologist by profession. We are now into season 4 of Psyched, and an exciting season at that, as we have changed slightly based on your demand and your requests, the length of the program. We're now an entire hour. Before we get into today's programming, and of course, as usual, the guest that I have for you all today, let's first go into this segment, Psyched to Know.
Psyched to Know, brought to you by Sule Joseph and Associates. Did you know that listening to music triggers the release of 3 powerful chemicals in the brain? Dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin. These hormones give us a rush of pleasure, support, reward, and motivation, and help us to feel connected to others.
Take some time for yourself or spend some time with the family at Sandy Point Village Hotel. Enjoy our various studio and suite apartments, self-contained with their own kitchenettes and Wi-Fi. We also have our famous 100-foot swimming pool and our beachfront restaurant, the Steak and Lobster Grill. And our location in Crown Point puts us near the center of activity, from the nylon pool to the local nightlife. Call us and make your reservations at 639-8533, 389-2378, or email us at sandypointvillagehotel@gmail.com.
Hello there, and welcome to AM Prime on WESN Content Capital. Before we even start this repatriation and reintegration process, we've already failed, or are we doomed to fail?
You've got to invest in the institutions that you've established to carry out those sorts of core functions.
We now get into the regional updates to give you an understanding of what's happening across our neighboring islands.
A number of films that are worth showing.
So it was day one when the French Revolution started to develop the concept of universal human rights.
What happened this time is unprecedented. It's one of the largest terrorist attacks in history.
Let's welcome Carl to the program. Carl is over there, next to himself. Hello, Carl.
Silky anteater or pygmy anteater, and we have 2 of the 3 species of anteaters right here.
This is 10 Questions. I'm Andy Johnson. The distance from where we should be in the world in going forward on our commitments with climate change.
The effects of climate change that cannot be accounted for. It's called loss and damage, and we're seeing loss and damage happening so much more in this decade and the previous decade.
The principal term there was this question of the correspondent banking issues.
That is why we're trying to build capacity with this country here, Trinidad and Tobago, and other countries in the region.
Man is not showing any signs of stopping or even slowing down. More than half of the forest in Trinidad is already gone.
All the plants and all the animals and all of the nice clean water and fresh air and everything had to be on this planet for humanity to have a chance.
We have small change when it comes to countries that can take decisions, and when they speak, the world listens.
The General Assembly is a very democratic forum. And Trinidad and Tobago has the same vote as Canada, in spite of the obvious difference in size.
FanZone, your reliable, authentic supplier, has just gotten better. You can now visit our website www.fanzonett.com for your authentic wear and collectibles. The only place where you can use both your Visa debit and credit cards. Visit our website fanzonett.com to make your purchase today.
Seven is out, all day is in. WESN News on the hour.
My opinion on Trinidad music, I can never say Trinidad music responsible for no crime. Trinidad music can never responsible for no crime because it had producers before Trinidad music come out. Trinidad music come and rise the industry for unemployment in the ghetto.
It wouldn't be, it would be individual.
When you say individual, what do you mean?
The person itself.
Okay. So it's down to the person, it's the people.
Down to the person.
Not necessarily the music.
No, not necessarily the music.
My thoughts about it, this kind of music and this activity, me and saying no, right, is a good thing. But the meaning in behind it, right? The meaning in behind it. Every meaning of the music is the obscene, is the gun this, is the gun that. Is this one who want to join gang, who want like gang like 7, 6, anything. Is that what has caused the crime rate to go up in Trinidad and Tobago and the whole world? And so what the government shall do, shall ban and cut down certain in them things and get serious with them things.
The government of Trinidad and Tobago should be considering how they're putting down the artists in Trinidad and Tobago, because before that we had foreign music that we was listening to, American music, Jamaican dancehall, and all kind of music that was encouraging violence, and we wasn't concerned about the violent factor of their music. We wasn't complaining about that for escalating our crime rate in Trinidad and Tobago. Because Trinidadians decide to become innovative and pioneers in bringing out our own version of dancehall, they decide to fight it down. I find they should get the artists more room to express their freedom, because to express the views and to express what's really happening on the streets, because we don't need it to be hide and seek no more. We don't need it to be covered up. A covered up issue. The crime rate was always high.
I somewhat could agree and I could disagree, because music do have an influence, but at the same time the place hard. So most people choosing crime, and when I say crime, robbery, they're choosing to rob because they can't get work. Well, it's so much, yes, it's so much, it's so much.
Trinidad music, I would say it contributed towards some violence, but at the end of the day, the youths and them need to elevate themselves, go to school, do a trade, and come off of the streets, right?
They might argue that they don't have much opportunities for youths outside. What's your thoughts on that?
I wouldn't say they don't have much opportunities, because, I mean, it have the government put things like programs for them to go and learn, go and do a trade, and these courses, and them, the majority of them free.
They're trying to stop the Trinidad thing, and they're trying to make it into a more negative way than make it into a positive way. They could try something with the youths. It don't have to be Trinidad as in that way that you have to sing violence and about gun and them things, but they could try something with the youths.
Welcome back for those of you at home. Thanks for staying tuned to Psyched to Know. We're into season 4. And that song that you're hearing in the background, the beat is pretty awesome, isn't it? Make you feel to get up and shake a leg, isn't it? Well, the owner of that beat and that song is joining us in studio today for us to have a conversation. This young man is a young and upcoming artist with some real bangers, some big tunes, and we'll have a conversation with him about how he came up with some of these songs, maybe understand him a bit more and the genre of music that he sings. Joining me in studio this morning is none other than Ice Dan. Welcome, my brother.
Yes, man. Thank you very much.
All right. But before we get into anything seriously heavy in terms of conversation and thing, where Iceland come from? Where that name? The name Iceland, how you come up with that?
Basically, Iceland is a youth from poverty. He stemmed from poverty, right? Growing up, it was a lot of hard times. It was just me and my mother alone. My father, he ended up having to leave the country due to some circumstances and things, whatever the case is. And it was just situations in life made me name myself that kind of cold name now, ice now, because I started to feel like it had no joy in the world again. It had nothing to look up to smile, no happiness, no nothing now. It started to feel like I was losing myself. I was losing myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your name is a representation of your life then?
My life.
Everything you've experienced in your life?
Yeah, basically.
Then crafted this name, Iceland?
Basically.
All right. Now the name Dan, now mostly older persons usually watch our program, right? Now the name Dan, name like Dan and so on, and boss, is usually associated with this kind of gang life thing.
True.
And sides and so on. So when people hear Dan and boss, so this one is so-and-so boss, this one is so-and-so Dan, everybody feeling some kind of... So is it that name has been born out of a side that you are affiliated with, or you're chosen, you're joined with, or you're no part of that?
No part of that. The Dan actually was just the top of the name because I couldn't really just say ice.
Okay.
In the, like for YouTube and things, so like when you're searching for ice, you're finding all kind of...
all kind of things, yeah.
So I just literally put that Dan to separate it from all that.
To separate, okay, okay. So it's not...
So you
it's
can
not,
find it easier, gravitate it easier, that kind of vibe.
So you all heard it first here, folks. Iceland is not on any war thing. It's not no war thing. It's not on any side. It's on no side. You're not on any side. It's none of that.
Nah.
You just... your music, you sing it for everybody.
Everybody.
It's not on one side. You're on
Not on one side.
All right, nice, lovely. So saying that you say you grew up in hard times and stuff, what side of Trinidad you from?
I'm originally from the east. I kind of grew in Locketa, Phase 4.
Okay.
Right, and probably going into secondary school, I moved to Valencia. And there I finished my secondary school, and then after that, I moved to Sawa. And that is where the music started to take off. Like when I started, it started in Valencia, but I started to take it more serious when I left Valencia and ended up in Sawa, because I started to meet people who actually was in, like, love music and things, to studio, people who had a studio and that kind of vibes. So yeah.
All right. So while the East raised you, we in Sawa, I'm saying we because my office in Sawa, I born and raised in Sawa. We in Sawa claim here, right? So we in Sawa claim here, but the East raised here.
The East raised me.
All right, okay, I'll accept that. All right. So talk to me about the genre of music you sing.
It's basically dancehall, the same thing that you will see the Jamaicans singing since cartel days and that kind of vibe. So it's just the same thing, but based on what we experience over here in Trinidad.
But there's a terminology utilized now for that we call Trinidad music.
Trinidad.
So would you say that it falls within the remit of that Trinidad?
I believe so. Yeah, you can say that. I believe so.
All right. But one of the controversial things we have with Trinidad music is that people generally feel that Trinidad music responsible for all of the crime and violence and things in Trinidad.
And that is wrong, because since before the Trinidad music, even when soca was playing alone, it had crime and things. Yes, I could understand they could use it as like, it helped in that aspect, but it never created and it never make it more than what it was already. You know, that kind of way, because it always had that crime situation in Trinidad and Tobago. So we don't want to be hypocrites and say we don't have a part to play in it. Yes, I understand as a big man, when you sing certain lyrics, you portray certain something, it might have some youths out there that would take it the wrong way and interpret it the wrong way and try to do it. But that is on them and the parents and everything, because we just entertainers. You understand?
Well, then what would you say to, and I hear that, but what would you say to people who then, their argument is that you get your head lashed up, and folks, again, for the older ones who don't understand, get your head lashed up means you're going to get intoxicated, you pop some pills, you do whatever you have to do, right? So you're going to get your head lashed up, right? and then you listen to some Trinidad music and charge up. Right? So you get your head lash up, you charge up, and then you start to act fully. Right? And by fully here, people, fully done, we're talking about usually, that's when people now claim to be monsters and go out and commit, heinous acts and crimes and things and so on, that kind of thing. But the music that they claim that you listen to get charged up is Trinidad music.
Not only, I wouldn't say, because as I say, remember, Trinidad is same thing as dancehall, so it also have dancehall artists that sing the same thing. They might mention no gang thing, but they mention in violence. Same thing like the movies and all. We will watch movies, we will see violence, but that don't mean you will go and do what you see in the movie. Even if you charge up, even if you're taking your show intoxicated or a little high, or whatever the case is, you wouldn't. That is you had to choose that as an individual. All of us have a part to play, so they can't just try to blame, use fingers and blame.
So essentially, you're saying if they want to ban Trinidad music, then you have to ban violent movies.
And all of that violent music from all different genres.
Dancehall, everything.
Hip-hop. Don't hear no soca with no kind of... Although we will never hear that, but, don't try it.
No, but actually, there was a soca that I felt people slept on that was kind of
violent.
That was talking about if the lady front door lock and you can't get in, right? I don't want to go in here. I don't want to go too far into that, but that song wasn't peaceful. That was not peaceful. If your front door lock is for a reason, right?
It's for a reason.
Correct. So
it come like he was promoting,
Yeah, exactly. Right?
And there is something wrong. You could get locked up for that. That's.
I didn't hear the same outcry and the people, calling for the artist's head and thing and whatever, for that song. But I guess because people feel as though Trinidad is associated with a lot of gangs, and right now we have a lot of runaway gangs in Trinidad, basically doing what they want.
True.
Right? People feel as though that if you stop Trinidad music, you might stop some of the violence and gang activity.
I don't see it as that. I don't see it as that at all, because the music, as I say, it always had the criminal elements here, and it's them really who influencing what's going on, and not the music. Because if we backtrack before Trinidad even get to be on a public scale, it always had the crime, so they could try it. They could try banning it and see if it would stop anything, but they would realize that wouldn't do nothing. Just like paying the tint laws, and that wouldn't do nothing to solve the crime. Them thing wouldn't do nothing to solve the crime.
Officers, people in authority, I obey the law, I remove my tints, right? Not me. I don't have a rasp. Police always stop me when I drive in.
Driving, right.
So, but all jokes and stuff aside, right? Some of your music was very much entrenched in the Trinidad genre, which sang about violence and stuff or whatever. Is there a possibility for Trinidad music to be positive, to sing positive? You know what I mean? Does it have to always be violence and gunshots and singing war music and stuff or whatever? Could it be positive?
It could be positive. It could be positive. It's just the certain elements on the grounds is what will have it a little difficult, because majority of the place right now want to be fully dance. Everybody want to be fully dance and want to involve themselves in strippiness and things. So when you come out with that positive approach, they might gravitate it because them studying to live the life and that kind of, So that is why as an artist, you have to mix it up and sing for everybody. You wouldn't try to sing for one category of people now. So that is why I just try to mix it up. Even if the positive might catch, I still try to pay it out, to show people that it's not only powder, it's not fame I'm looking for, it's not hype I'm looking for, because that's why plenty of these youth singing the badness. They realize when they sing that, they gain the hype.
They gain forward. So people paying attention to you when you sing.
When you sing the negative.
Right.
As you sing the positive, it's hard. You might get a 1,000 views, you vex, you say, oh, it was that.
So after you put up, so for example, I want to use an example here, right? There was a particular artist within about 3 months, at least of my knowing, because I tend to try to follow and pay attention to, upcoming artists and stuff and how it impacts youths, because I work with youths, right? And there was a particular artist, I don't want to call the artist name, right? But there was a particular artist. Within 3 months, the artist dropped a tune disrespecting a community leader, right? And within 3 months, that artist blew up. Right? You have people trying for years to blow up and become right? But you see, part of that blowing up, there was a murder. His friend who sang the song on social media was killed, right? There were several attempts made on this particular artist's life, right? Just up to recently, when they returned into the country, some persons tried to jump them on the highway, and there was a shootout and so on and whatever. But within 3 months, this artist blew up. Got requests from Grenada, Guyana, all these other islands and so on, to come and do concerts, singing the music that he was singing. And an interview from him, and I hope we interview him and get his side soon as well. Right? But an interview from him, he was saying, listen, if he was singing, I guess what you call kumbaya music to him, right? If he was singing peaceful music and thing, he would not have gotten the same forward that he got. So within 3 months, he blew up as a big artist. Based on what was the society, I guess, is demanding. And what you are saying is, a lot of people attempt to sing positive music.
But they don't go nowhere.
But it just don't go anywhere.
No way. If we used to get the same traction from that positive music, we probably might have released more positive music. But they do gravitate it because of the fact that we don't sing so much negative. They probably feel we can't balance it or some kind of thing like that, but it's not that. Because as I say, it's the same thing as dancehall, and if we watch some of these dancehall artists from Jamaica, they just mix it up. It's the same thing, and that is all we're trying to do as youths, because that is what we see growing up.
Now, there was a period when I know that you would have said, listen, you're going to give this singing badness a rest, a break, right? What caused that? Why did you feel you wanted to give a break to singing this Trinidad badness, singing about badness?
Because of the way it was going, what really went on is I got affiliated, right? Because in the earlys, when everything was cool, everybody was one, to whatever the case is in Tongside, I get to meet everybody, I get to, collaborate with certain artists, was the case, and then madness take place, the breakup take place.
Right.
Chaos.
Right.
So when I see that now, I say, boy,
just a pause, sorry. For people at home watching and don't know, right? When you're talking about a breakup, this is when basically gangs fractured. Everything, groups fractured, and you have these different numbers now, right? You're going to call any numbers, but they were different. These different numbers. They were different numbers.
And we explaining what take place.
Right.
So it break up, and from there is when I tell myself, but this really has nothing to do with me. You understand?
You're not about it.
This has nothing to do with me.
Okay.
But I just leave it as it is, so I try to pull my corner now. And even though I pull my corner, I still affiliated. Yes, I still know certain people, yes, whatever the case is, but that is not me. You understand? And I try to show people that everywhere I go. So if they don't understand that, and if they want to target me for whatever case, that is their business, whatever the case is, I know who I is now, but and that is all that is how I does roll. So, yeah.
So, what you're saying is people assign you or say that you're affiliated with certain groups because of persons that you talk to or collaborate with or whatever,
people
but you are
know
not.
From growing up, friends, that kind of vibes, But I can't just leave people because of whatever I take. Like, if I know I was a friend with you and you involved with some thing, I'm not really going and just unfriend you just so I might hold my distance a little bit, but I ain't going to unfriend you because you never do me no harm, you never show me no face, nothing. That is all. I don't know what's going on in the place because it's a big place. Trinidad. Yes, we might look small, but we're big.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of people on the island, people who don't even belong here. I don't know. but, you understand now, so we doesn't know everything what's going on. We don't know who know who, we don't know what's going on, So you ought to know as an individual who you surrounding yourself with, who you choose to have as friends and that kind of vibes.
Right. So this fraction happened. You decided you're going to hold your corner because you don't want to get too involved and so on. And then, so is it that you attempted to start to sing more positive music during that period? Or?
I tried singing little positive songs, little guilt tunes, that kind of way. And as usual, it didn't really catch. It didn't catch. Some catch, but not all. Okay. So like I will have songs like Firstborn. That is a positive song, a reality song, I would call it. That actually catch a little bit. It probably have close to 50,000 views on YouTube. But it could have had more. It's a positive song. It had no kind of really violence in that song or nothing. When I sing a bad man song now.
No, but I'm going to come to that.
100,000.
Versus when I know for a period, there was a period where you actually attempted to kind of distance yourself from the Trinidad and the violence and so on. Because, everybody talking about artists need to take responsibility and things, right? So you attempted to do that. But at the same time, I guess your bread and butter, there's your food, right?
Yes.
And attempting to do that started to mess with your bread and butter.
Bread and butter. Because believe it or not, it have few artists in Trinidad who actually know about the business side of the music. It has some of them who don't know nothing about the business side of music and just singing for fame and just singing for hype.
Right.
You understand? Or it has somebody who in the background controlling the flick.
Yeah.
I is one of the few artists who had everything down packed for myself now, because I link with plenty big names who in the industry now, like Pon and them. Tech songs, all of them from long time and thing, and I learned things from these fellas. Pon was one of the fellas I learned about distributing and thing. To distribute their music on platforms like iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify, them kind of vibes. I learned them things from here and I approach it for myself and open up my own things, and that's how I understand that music could really make money. I didn't know it was serious like that. I didn't think it would be serious like that. So when I realized that, I said, well, I go and take advantage of this. But the only way to get the money generated is to sing the negative.
So I'm going to come to the tune that your boss or your release took to come back out into singing badness, right? But before I come to that, my question would be, youths or the country, do you feel as though you all create the music and the people then want it, or you feel the people want the music so you all then create the music? Where you feel driving which? What you feel driving which?
I would say the second one, which is the people want it so we make it, because as I say, way before Trinidad, there was dancehall with Cartel and Movado, and we know that's a big era. That is what, I wouldn't say that is what caused everything. That genre day, that little breakaway that Gully and Gaza, that set that trend. And that is why people want that kind of music. Because if they didn't have that kind of music before, people used to listen to rap, people used to listen to 50 Cents, that kind of thing. I born 1995. When I was growing up, going secondary school and thing, it hardly had Cartel. Like, right, not even, let's not say secondary school, standard 4, standard 5, I hear Biggie, Tupac, 50 Cents, Ja Rule, them kind of thing. It didn't have no Cartel and thing yet. And then it come about and it changed everything. Dancehall was the new trend. Everybody wanted to be a dancehall artist. Everybody want to sing dancehall. We listening to soca again, we listening to that thing. So from there is why I would say everybody wanted, and that is why we created. That is why we will come now and try to create it for them now, because we see how big dancehall had, like how the effect dancehall had on the Caribbean, how big the effect had dancehall had on the Caribbean. So,
all right. So you're saying, and I understand, that the society crave it, and because the society crave it, it drives the artist to kind of create the music that people want to hear. And when you don't create the music that people want to hear, then your pocket suffers.
Pocket suffers. And it goes nowhere actually for your career though, because of the image and everything, we go in, we're trying to display that.
All right. So what happened instead is that you then decided, what's going on? People started clunging on social media. People started to say, well, I's done finished, you wash up. The views thing. So then what make you say, well, besides the money, because the tune you came back out with,
because basically
start a fire shots, like just come out of rapid fire, like come on, like it was vex. You drop a song like that song like come from your heart like it was upset. So,
no, well, basically, I doesn't take on nothing the media say. It's long time I've been getting negative things from the media. Some plenty people don't like me for whatever reason. They send little threats, they say shit, and say whatever. But I doesn't take on that, and the reason I actually try to go back to that is because that is where I started. That is how I even get my name in the first place. The first song that actually put my name locally, right, was No Criminal with Leo King. And that that spread with him, and that was like negative song. We will say was a bad man song, yes. And that is how I was born. That is that, you know, that kind of way. So I just
so went back to your roots.
Yeah, I just tell myself, let me go back to where I started, because they wouldn't know me for.
So and explain to us. Well, one, I think you sang that song with Youngin, right? Explain to us what drove you to sing, because that song with somebody, to me, it sounded like, but this man have a chip on his shoulder, yeah, boy, I find it. You come out ripping with the song, you know, that song that came out with a vengeance to say, listen, I ain't dead, I ain't disappear, I still lyrical, I still have it. If they want to, you know, they want to test the lyrics, it's still here.
Well, I know I just say I don't take on the people and them, right? But basically, that song was because of the people and them, as they say. Yeah. You would hear that, you know, people will say, Ice Dan, wash up, and thing, whatever the case is. But because of how I start from there, and I was going back to start it, I just tell myself, let me
address that issue.
Yeah, let me address it.
So all the haters, all the people out there,
let me address that. All the haters, it's not no personal, nothing that I was vexed and I had to think. I just wanted to address it for them to know. I come back.
Days waited, yeah. All right. So you dropped that tune. And then a lot of the persons who, I guess, would have expected you to, you give up that lifestyle. Yeah. I'm guessing some persons might have been disappointed, because you have some people who figure, well, you know.
Yeah. Family members, friends, people on work sometimes, you know. Yeah.
So my question to you would be, how do you then find that balance between having friends and family who want you to stop singing badness, right? But then the financial side of it, where this is what the culture wants, this is what you excel at, this is what you're very good at. How do you find that balance to sing songs that your family could say, well, yeah, okay, this, yeah, you know, and then songs that the rest of the population and thing will say, yeah, boy, this is a banger.
Well, as I said, I was mix it up, because even though I would, even though the positive songs wouldn't get no big set of views and things, my family members were still here, my friends were still here, people close by were still here too. I know by like personally, you know. So when them hear it, them would rate it, but it just wouldn't gravitate to the whole outside. So when them hear that, them know that he have a balance. Even though he trying to sing that, he trying to show you that, you know.
You're diverse, you have skills. You can sing about different things.
Versatile.
Yeah, you're versatile. Versatility, they call it. Yeah, you're versatile. You can sing girl tune, you can sing positive tune, you can sing bad man tune.
R.I.P. tune. Yeah. Because that is what dancehall is. That is what we learn from way back in, as I say, in the Cartel and Mavado era. That is what we learned. This is what these fellas was doing. Them used to sing about everything, ghetto songs, positive, like poverty and things. And we hear Cartel singing about what he see in his community. And in communities in Trinidad, we know it's plenty poverty.
It's about singing your reality, where you live. So it's people singing what they experience.
We see certain things, we see, you know. So we sing about certain things, wherever we see. We really see nothing else to sing about. And soca kind of real hard, because the lockdown the soca industry in our way it is. I don't know what you do. If you had I don't know, but it's too hard. So we make
could I say this then, as a psychologist, just listening to you on, you know, and we're doing this interview, and I'm understanding you a bit more. When you sing about where you come from and what you experience, there's a certain level of truth that comes to the music. Versus when you try to sing about something you didn't really experience now. You know what I mean? So when you talk about your name, Ice Dan, coming out of the hardship that you experience, when you sing that, there's a, you know, it's kind of like you're putting your soul into the music because you're singing the experience. Versus where you're saying, you know, you try to sing positive tune, but maybe some of the positive things you've been singing is not things you personally experience somewhere. You know, maybe you're trying to sing, you know, life is good and everybody's treating you good and things, but nobody ever really treats you good and life isn't good, you know what I mean? So it's not coming from a genuine place of what you've experienced. Because that tune you release, when you come out, I say, boy, I feel that tune all in my soul. I say, that's all, you know what I mean? No, you know what I mean? It felt like you came out with a vengeance, boy. You come out with a man, like a man on a mission.
Yeah.
Right? So, before our time closes and wraps up, I'm going to ask you two questions. One is, what is next for Ice Dan? Where are you going? What's next?
Well, I see Dan still striving, trying to put out more hits, more music videos, you know, try to connect with people in the industry more, do little collaborations, try to get stage shows, try to get more visa to fly, more work permit, you know, that kind of way. Hope that some of the countries wouldn't ban me. Yeah, because, you know, it's just, there's with passion. It have you to love music. I love music. From since I grew up, I used to sing everybody's song.
But now it's dangerous to fly. We see another artist associated with another side was shot in his head on his wheel, leaving the island to come back home to Trinidad.
Right.
So even then, being part of as a Trinidad artist almost is a health and a life hazard.
But I don't think it will be for all Trinidad artists, because as I say, well, basically, with the gang thing, is according to if you're from the areas. If you understand what I mean. If you're from the area, you really have no choice. You know, that kind of way, because you're from the area. So for you to make it, is the people in the area helping you make it. So you go and you don't have no choice but to sing for them and that kind of vibes. If you're from out the area, and you choose to want to go and sing, that is on you. But if you're not from the area and you choose to sing on your own and you realize, even if you realize, well, you know, you ain't really making nothing, but you still want to struggle it out and do your own thing. Do your own thing.
But then what about the artists who made it maybe by affiliation, and I have one particular artist in mind here, right? You make it by affiliation, and then you decide, nah boy, I coming out of this thing.
It might be a good, it might be a bad.
Because that particular artist, as far as I know, out of the country right now for a while. It's been out of the country, producing music and things out of the country because, you know.
I understand, and it might be a good and a bad, I say, because you never know if you pull away, if it is that your whole views will drop, your whole, you know,
So it's almost like you're caught then in a kind
in a bubble.
Caught.
In a little trap, in a little maze.
Correct. So to become the artist, and you become an artist in a certain area, then is the area that's supporting. Then you become affiliated, whether you want to or not, you become affiliated one time with it.
Because you're from the area, you have to think that the people who support you, them is who get you that play in the first place.
The forward, correct.
You know, that kind of way. So you have no choice.
So, and if you try to pull yourself out,
you don't know what could happen.
It could be problems.
At the end of your career, right? Or you end up get out it and you get a break again and you function, you flick on your own self.
Yeah. All right. So the final thing I want to say as we run out of time now is, how do people get in contact with Iceland? They say, hear your music, they find, boy, this is fire. I want to get this youth man to perform for something. I don't know, birthday party, bar mitzvah, I don't know, right? Right? How do they get in contact with you? How do they follow you if they're people interested in how Iceland living? How they following you? How they get in contact with you?
Well, right now, Iceland is a free agent. So basically, you contact me through my email address. It's icelandsmm@gmail.com. You could also reach me out on Instagram, Iceland Music on Instagram. Yeah, basically that's it, because I know no manager or nothing. I know as a free agent. I'm doing my thing on my own. So, yeah.
All right. So you all heard that. You all have his information. Follow him on social media. Hit him up on Instagram. You can send him an email if you need to reach out to him for anything of the sort. Final thing, boy. I don't want to tell you final before, but final thing. Any young artist who's trying to come up, who say, yeah, I like that Iceland fella, follow them and thing. What advice you want to leave them with? What advice you want to leave them with that maybe was given to you, maybe wasn't given to you, experienced it for yourself? What advice you want to give to the young generation artists coming up?
I would like them to remain patient and don't be too hasty. You know, that kind of way. The patience is that is all you need, basically, because if you don't have patience, you don't know where you're running into. You don't know what it is going on in the background, wherever people helping you out. You don't know if they're thieving from you. You don't know what's going on, you understand?
Right.
So use that man to sit down and learn the industry, learn the business side of the music, learn everything about the music. And just go through that, just follow and, you know, do your dream, do what you love. Keep focus.
Lovely. Thanks, my brother, for coming on.
Love, man.
Blessings always.
Anytime.
All right. So Trinidad and Tobago, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Psyched. Remember, next week, please go on, same time, same place, right here on WESN. Remember, where we are family, and this is Content Capital. See you next week.
WESN,